Hey everyone, Hayden here with Assist Mode. Thank you so much for joining me for another round of RPG news. Got a lot to cover today, so please hit me with a like and subscribe if you appreciate these videos, and I really appreciate you for supporting my channel. Alright, so getting started here, we have some news from Stardew Valley, from Concerned Ape, the solo developer of Stardew Valley. It's its 10th anniversary. So, to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape is going to release some pre-release footage for us from before that game was released. Kind of going back in the day. Hopefully, we're going to get some more insights into how he developed the game. I just love this story of a solo developer working hard on a game for years and then releasing it to critical success. I think that that's just awesome and inspirational. So I'm a huge fan of Stardew Valley. If you like farming sims, dating sims, RPGs, this is going to be right up your alley. If you haven't played it yet, definitely check it out. It's aged incredibly well. And Concerned Ape has been regularly releasing updates that have made the game improved over the years. So now we're going to be getting some additional marriageable candidates in the game. So two of the NPC characters are going to be now available to date and marry that previously weren't. So I'm kind of excited about that. Excited to check that one out. All right, Tales of Berseria Remastered. Tales games are action RPGs that have been coming out really for a long time, like since the 90s. So Tales of Berseria is one of the games that was released on the PlayStation 4, and this is a remaster that's available on PS5, I believe PC as well as Switch. So, yeah, if you're a fan of narrative-based RPGs, especially JRPGs, if you like games that go into a lot of depth about the characters, their interactions, and so forth, this is going to be really an awesome game for you. This is the kind of game that allows you to really dig into the characters, get to know their motivations, see them interact, and so forth. And by the end of the game, you really feel as if you've connected with the characters. Tales games are really some of my favorites. Personally, I enjoy them a lot. I like the battle system, and I enjoy the amount of narrative depth and dialogue that we get in the games. I know some people aren't such a fan of that. They call it the B word, bloat. But for me personally, I just think that this is great. And I like that they also allow some of those additional dialogue and cutscenes to be optional, so that if you aren't a fan of all of that, you can still enjoy the battle mechanics and so forth. All right, moving on, there is a new Dissidia Final Fantasy game that's available, and this features a variety of characters from the Final Fantasy games in what seems to be a modern Tokyo world. That says Tokyo in Japanese right there. So it seems to be modern day Tokyo, but the characters are, unfortunately, as you will see later in this trailer, going to encounter some Final Fantasy-esque enemies even in modern day Tokyo. So it's cool to see these characters coming back. I really enjoy to see the elaboration of Dissidia's battle system. For those of you who don't know, Dissidia is a spin-off series of Final Fantasy. It is not a JRPG in the traditional sense. It's more of a fighting game. It has a 3D fighting mechanic to it. So if you aren't a fan of fighting games, this one's probably not going to be for you despite the Final Fantasy characters. But if you're a huge fan of Final Fantasy and you're open to fighting games, you enjoy that action-paced combat, this is going to be right up your alley. I have to say it's interesting to see some of the characters updated, but I'm not 100%, especially Terra. Like, is that Terra? Yeah, I'm not 100% loving what they've done with all the characters, shall we say? Like, in my mind, like, that's not Terra. So, yeah, I'm curious to see if there's some additional updates to we have the behemoth showing up, of course. I'm curious to see if there are going to be some additional updates to the character design that take them a little bit closer to their previous versions. And yeah, this is a mobile game, so I really haven't played a ton of mobile games personally. I'm more of a console gamer myself, occasional PC gamer, and yeah, I think I might check this one out. It seems interesting enough, especially for a free-to-play game. Check it out, download it, see if you like it, and it might be for you, it might not. All right, moving into our indies. So, one indie game that we have is Voidling Bound from Hatchery Games. This is a monster creator, fighter, exploration RPG. So you create monsters and you can hatch and breed them with specific characteristics and traits. And then you can use them in order to enter and explore a vast world. So with these creatures, you can customize them and train them as you see, but additionally, there's almost like an avatar system where you can become them in order to enter the world. So if you are a player who loves, monsters, monster catchers, and builders, if you enjoy world exploration, it seems like you're gonna have a lot of that here. It definitely has a ton of different mechanics that just appeal to me completely. I love an action RPG. I don't play many of them, but I think they're a lot of fun. And this one seems really engaging and entertaining. I love the monster design. I love the customizability and the hatching mechanic. Super cool. Check this one out, June 9th, 2026. All right, and last but not least, Thysiastery from Durga Games is coming out on March 9th, 2026. This is, as you see, an RPG dungeon crawler, first person, similar to like Wizardry or Shin Megami Tensei with the old school style to it. I'm imagining an old school level of difficulty as well. You can see from the battle system, it's really rich in its world, and it just has a lot of those old school grindy dungeon mechanics from an RPG that we're missing out on these days. This looks like a really cool game, and I'm just excited to see more. This is a relatively short release trailer, but I'm just super curious. I want to check this game out and see more of its offerings and really explore it in more detail. So if you like old school dungeon crawling adventures, check out Thysiastery, which is coming out on March 9th on Steam. And yeah, support Durga Games. Seems like they're doing some absolutely incredible work. So check this one out and support an indie developer. All right, last but not least, we have the re-release of the original Final Fantasy VII, which came out on PlayStation. I believe it was 97 that one came out, and at least here in the US. So this is a release of the console version for PC and available on Steam. This game has some new features which enhance the playability of the game. So you can increase the speed up to 3 times. And then you can also turn off all of the random battles. So if you no longer want to deal with random battles and you just want to explore and progress the game, you can do this. Also, shout out to Razor XP Gaming. Thank you so much for allowing me use of your video. I was looking for an official video for this and I could not find one for this release. So yeah, I had to kind of lean on some of my fellow YouTubers for this one. But yeah, one of the things that I want to highlight about this is that the save files, a lot of people are saying that the save file won't transfer. They have to start. They're not going to buy it because, you can't access any of your saves. However, I was watching a video from the Night Sky Prince just recently where he talks about you can actually take the save file, the file itself in a folder, and copy it from the old game to the new save folder in this version of the game. And this will be able to read that save file. So even though the game doesn't automatically import saves from the previous version, it does allow you to still play the save file. Your data is not totally gone. With that being said, it's such a great game that you might as well just restart from the beginning and enjoy it from the beginning. For those of you who didn't play this game at all, and maybe you played the remake, the rebirth that just came out recently. Maybe you weren't such a fan of that, some of the, shall we say, mini games in that. Definitely check this one out because this game just nailed it. I mean, it is an absolute banger. The plot is amazing. It's the narrative, the characters, the world design, the vibe of the game, the battle system, the materia, all of it much more cohesive than the re-releases. And in addition to that, The game just really pulls you in. I can't describe it, but by time you're, about halfway through the first part, round like when you meet Aerith and you are starting to explore the slums. Man, I just remember playing the demo of this game back in the day over and over and over again, just getting so excited for the release. Then when I got it on PC, it was just honestly such an incredible experience. I must have put hundreds of hours into this game. It's got so much depth, and it's honestly, if you haven't played it, definitely check it out. Some of these new features are excellent, like the autosave feature. It's really cool, so it will automatically save. So, even if for some reason you forget to, or you die in the middle of a tough boss, and you don't have to go all the way back like you did back in the day. Some of the criticisms that I have from this, especially from an accessibility perspective, is the 2013 Steam version had some flaws, but it allowed players to mod it. So it was based off of the architecture of the previous PC game, which I played as a kid. And the modding community really just took that one and ran. And in addition to that, they released, like, for example, fully voiced dialogue. So for those of us who have dyslexia or who struggle with reading, voiced dialogue is a huge difference and helps to be able to access the game and just play it and enjoy it without being so bogged down by the reading component. So I would absolutely love if there were some additional accessibility features added to these games and to the re-releases, like, for example, text to speech, so that the text in the game can read out. This would just be honestly one of the best things that they could possibly do to make it more accessible for all gamers out there. This is a great game, and I think it could be made even better if it had some of those accessibility features to, help players to access the game and enjoy it just like anyone else. So what do you all think about the re-release of Final Fantasy VII? What do you think about these new features and so forth? Did Square Enix kind of maybe struggle with the delivery of this one, especially with things that could easily be informed, like you can transfer your save file like this and maybe describe to players how they do it in a video or something like that? Uh, or do you feel like, honestly, this is a port, it's good enough, re-release, okay, let them just get it out with these new features. That's great for such a old game as this, that they're even giving it some attention and some love is good enough. I'm curious your all thoughts about Square Enix and about the re-release of Final Fantasy VII. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me on some of this game news. It's been so much fun covering some re-releases, but also new indie games that are super cool to explore. I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end. And if this is something that you like and appreciate, hit me with a like and subscribe to support my channel so I can keep bringing you this awesome RPG content. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.